Last season, Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs were drowning at 6 wins and 30 losses after 36 games. Now they're sitting at a respectable 18-18. What changed? Enter Chris Paul. Let's dive into how the point guard is unlocking Victor Wembanyama's full potential and redefining the Spurs' identity.
Paul, Wemby,
To understand why the Spurs needed CP3, let's first revisit how San Antonio built around Wemby in his rookie season. Saying the Spurs started slow is an understatement. Deep into a massive rebuilding project, they were regular fixtures at the very bottom of the standings. Wemby showcased flashes of brilliance on both ends, delivering jaw-dropping plays that confirmed he's a once-in-a-lifetime defender and a unique athlete at his size. But the Spurs' disjointed roster and Wemby's freedom to experiment with his offensive game took a toll on both his efficiency and the team's results. That said, San Antonio's struggles weren't entirely on Wemby. His inefficiency and occasional questionable shot selection were minor compared to larger systemic issues. Losses piled up, and even legendary coach Greg Popovich, 5-time NBA champion and 3-time Coach of the Year, contributed to the slow start. One notable experiment saw Wemby starting at power forward alongside traditional center Zach Collins for the first 20 games. The logic was clear: protect Victor from too much paint physicality. But the result? Cramped spacing on offense and awkward defensive mismatches, forcing either Wemby or Collins to defend on the perimeter, which went against both players' strengths. More baffling, however, was Pop's decision to test forward Jeremy Sohan, a 2022 number 9 overall pick, as the team's primary playmaker instead of signing a veteran caretaker point guard or giving the role to incumbent Tre Jones. Unsurprisingly, the offense floundered, posting an anemic 109.0 offensive rating over the first 2 months. In December, it hit rock bottom at 107.2, dead last in the league.
To Victor for the win.
Having no plus passers in the starting 5 around Wemby was a recipe for disaster. The dysfunction was plain to see. Wemby often looked visibly frustrated when teammates missed him for easy baskets. Even opposing announcers couldn't believe the Spurs' inability to get him the ball. "I don't know how you miss a 7'4" guy," analyst Stacey King remarked during a Bulls broadcast. "It's almost like the team is reluctant to throw it to him." At one point, Wemby resorted to leaping for alley-oops even when the pass wasn't there. Naturally, the NBA meme community had a field day. Cool. Eventually, Pop relented on both fronts, shifting Wemby to center, a move that helped him become the league leader in blocked shots and finish the season as the Defensive Player of the Year runner-up, and moving Tre Jones into the starting point guard role. This adjustment sparked immediate improvement, with the team's offensive rating jumping to 115.7 points per 100 possessions in January. The number itself isn't spectacular, I admit, but consider this: with just one small tweak, adding a competent passer and organizer to the mix, the team's offensive rating jumped 10 spots, going from dead last to just inside the top 20. Despite these improvements, the Spurs roster still lacked clear building blocks for the future. The only 3 names that might resonate with a casual NBA fan were Jeremy Sohan, mentioned earlier, a versatile but still developing forward who was miscast as the team's primary initiator; Keldon Johnson, the 29th pick in 2019, a veteran on the Spurs and a bench warmer for Team USA's gold medal squad in the Tokyo Olympics, was struggling to adjust to his new role alongside Wemby. Devin Vassell, the 11th pick in 2020, a talented scorer and tough wing defender, missed 12 games due to foot and knee issues and spent a significant portion of the season playing under a minutes restriction.
37 minutes in the Toronto game. Well, looked pretty close there.
Victor, of course, was and will remain the crown jewel of this talent pool. A one-of-a-kind athlete with extraordinary size, length, and skill, he also possesses a team-first mindset. He pays little attention to individual accolades, always keeping the focus on helping his team win games. So, when it came time to make off-season improvements around their core 4, the Spurs turned to a proven commodity, Chris Paul. After all, every team Paul has joined has gotten better. The Spurs identified this early and pounced on the opportunity. Former ESPN NBA insider extraordinaire Adrian Wojnarowski reported that Paul and San Antonio agreed to a 1-year deal just hours after the Golden State Warriors informed the veteran point guard they were waiving him. Beyond his impressive career achievements, 11 All-NBA teams, 12 All-Star appearances, 9 All-Defensive teams, and multiple assist and steal titles, Chris Paul has built a remarkable legacy in another key category: regular season victories. This phenomenon, known as the Chris Paul effect or CP3 effect, has been consistent throughout his career. Teams that add Paul often experience an immediate boost in wins, a trend that dates back to his rookie season. Of the 6 franchises Paul has played for, each of them improved in the season he joined. On average, teams gained 8.67 more wins during Paul's first year. Once could be a fluke, twice a coincidence, but beyond that, it's a clear pattern. Take the 2004 to 2005 New Orleans Hornets, for instance. The team won just 18 games. The following season, after selecting Paul 4th overall in the draft, they jumped to 38 wins.
He's still going to stop. Chris Paul wheels in the lane and scores.
With Paul claiming Rookie of the Year honors. By his 3rd season, the Hornets hit a franchise record 56 wins. In Los Angeles, the 2011 Clippers won only 32 games. After trading for Paul, the Clippers posted a franchise best win percentage every year he was there, starting with the 2011-12 season. That year, they finished 40-26, improving by 8 wins, despite playing 16 fewer games in the lockout-shortened season. The trend didn't stop there. In Houston, the 2017 Rockets won 55 games, and in 2018, they set a franchise record with 65 wins. The Phoenix Suns experienced similar results. After Paul joined in 2020, the Suns improved by 17 wins and set another franchise record in 2021 with 64 victories. Even the Golden State Warriors saw a 2-win improvement last season after acquiring him. Incredibly, Chris Paul is the first player in NBA history to be part of 4 teams that set franchise records for wins in a single season. However, despite all the records, the season Paul values most is one where his team didn't improve in terms of wins. The 2019-20 season with the Oklahoma City Thunder. That year, the Thunder won 5 fewer games than the previous season, but it was supposed to be a major rebuilding year after trading away Russell Westbrook and Paul George. Instead, Paul led the team to the playoffs, defying expectations. This particular season is especially noteworthy for the Spurs, given the youth on their current roster.
Paul pulling up 3. Oh, he put it in at the buzzer!
Much like the Thunder, San Antonio features budding stars who can benefit greatly from Paul's leadership. In Oklahoma City, Paul mentored a young Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is now an MVP contender. As Paul nears the end of his career, his knack for generating wins remains important, but his veteran mentorship may prove even more valuable than his statistical contributions. The fact that Paul's most memorable season came when he was able to focus on teaching speaks volumes about the impact he can have on the Spurs' young roster. Coach Greg Popovich understood the significance of adding Paul to the mix, alongside fellow veteran Harrison Barnes. Having Paul and Harrison at this stage of their careers is really wonderful for the youth we have, Popovich said. When a player that you respect says the same things the coaches are saying, it's often more impactful. Having them around is going to be super. The evidence is clear. Chris Paul makes teams better. His influence extends beyond wins and losses. He instills winning habits that will pay dividends both now and in the future. For the Spurs, the Chris Paul effect is twofold: winning games and teaching the team how to consistently win them. Let's look at the first 36 games of the season. In 2024, San Antonio went 6 wins and 30 losses, sitting in last place in the Western Conference, 4 wins behind the next team. Fast forward to January 10th, 2025, and the Spurs are now at 18-18, in 9th place in the conference. After a couple of tough, close losses, dropped them to a .500 record and out from the 8th seed.
Points. Sohan keeps it and scores it.
That's a 12-win improvement already. If they continue at this pace and finish the regular season with a 41-41 record, it will mark a 19-win improvement, which would be the second-best turnaround in Chris Paul's career, only behind his rookie season. What makes San Antonio's improvement even more impressive is the fact that Greg Popovich hasn't been with the team since early November after suffering a mild stroke. As a result, Paul's calming influence and steady hand have become even more essential for the young squad and a tremendous help to interim coach Mitch Johnson. The rest of the season for the Spurs will be a must-watch for basketball fans everywhere. Wemby is appointment viewing on his own. But with Chris Paul instilling discipline and executing the smart, fundamental plays on offense, their teammates are following suit and learning to excel in their roles, playing the right brand of basketball. Those seemingly miscast youngsters around Wemby, they're performing much better now. With CP3 at the controls, Jeremy Sohan has rediscovered his role, essentially playing as a center on offense. His length, tenacity, and surprisingly smooth mid-post game are being put to good use, while his defensive focus has shifted to guarding opposing guards rather than playing like one. This dynamic makes the Spurs a constant cross-match nightmare when they attack in transition.
Long shot, long rebound, you don't have transition.
Keldon Johnson has carved out a solid role as a spark plug off the bench, utilizing his driving ability and perimeter shooting threat. While his efficiency has been inconsistent at times this season, when he gets hot, he becomes a perfect fit as a spacer and pump-and-go option alongside Victor. When you factor in rookie and 2024 number 4 overall draft pick Stephon Castle, who's having an outstanding rookie season, the Spurs' future looks even brighter. Castle has thrived under the mentorship of Chris Paul, benefiting immensely from the veteran's guidance on and off the court. Paul's presence has accelerated Castle's development, sharpening his decision-making and enhancing his playmaking abilities. As Castle complements Victor Wembanyama's dominance with his poise, court vision, and scoring touch, the Spurs are building a young core that could dominate for years to come. Do you think the Spurs can keep this pace up? Is it possible they'll make a push in the second half of the regular season? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.